Your Excellency President Prabowo Subianto, distinguished ministers in both the Indonesia and Singapore delegations, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again, Bapak President, for the warm and generous hospitality extended to me and my delegation. The Leaders' Retreat is a unique feature of the Singapore-Indonesia relationship. It reflects the special relationship between our two countries, one that is characterized by close ties as well as mutual trust, respect, and understanding. And I'm very happy today to have had the opportunity to have very fruitful, open, candid, heart-to-heart talk with President Prabowo on how we can take our partnership even further. As I shared earlier over lunch, Singapore has every confidence in Indonesia's future. We want Indonesia to succeed because our futures are closely linked. And our confidence in Indonesia is reflected in our actions. That's why Singapore has been investing consistently in Indonesia over many years, and we will continue to do so. These investments are more than just capital flows. They create businesses, downstream industries, digital infrastructure, opportunities, and good jobs for Indonesians. And our companies continue to see many opportunities here. And that is evident also from our flagship collaborations. For example, investor interest in the Batam, Bintan, and Karimun region remains strong. The BBK is rapidly transforming into a vibrant digital hub and attracting leading companies to invest there. Both sides are also exploring new opportunities in advanced technologies and the digital economy. The Kendal Industrial Park celebrates its 10th anniversary this year, and that's also another success story. It has reached full capacity and will now expand by another 1,000 hectares. This expansion will catalyze more investments, create more jobs, and support Indonesia's continued development and growth. With more trade and investment links, we are also committed to strengthening our supply chain resilience so that our two countries can better support one another as we navigate any external shocks. And even as we advance our existing projects, we both agreed, Bapak President and I, that we must continue looking ahead. By working together, we can create many more opportunities for our peoples, strengthen our resilience, and make our two countries, as well as our region in ASEAN, more competitive. And you can see that commitment to additional cooperation from the many agreements and MOUs that we signed today. Let me just highlight briefly 3 areas where we are doing more together. First, in the energy sector. Recent developments in the Middle East have reminded us of the importance of energy security and diversification. Indonesia has tremendous potential in renewable energy, and Singapore would like to partner Indonesia in unlocking this potential. That's why we are jointly constructing one of Indonesia's largest solar projects in Morowali in central Sulawesi. This will unlock a clean supply of electricity to power industries there. Today, we have also signed MOUs between Danantara and Keppel Electric, Sembcorp Industries, and the Singapore Energy Interconnections. And this will provide a clear roadmap for negotiations and discussions between the parties, paving the way for our cross-border electricity project. We believe such a project is a win-win for both countries, and it will also be an important building block for a wider ASEAN power grid that will strengthen energy security across our region. Second, President Prabowo and I agreed to continue deepening people-to-people ties, which are the bedrock of our bilateral relationship. President Prabowo's Garuda Schools program has taken off. We want to promote more exchanges with the Garuda schools so that our youths can learn from one another. In fact, our universities welcome students from SMA Taruna Nusantara in Central Java in April this year, and they plan to make a reciprocal visit next month. Such programs build friendships and understanding between our people. And with more people-to-people exchanges, we also look forward to better connectivity. Our carriers have just launched direct flights between Singapore and Pontianak in West Kalimantan last week. We hope to see more flight connections to different parts of Indonesia that will enable tourists to experience the beauty of Indonesia, support business travel, and facilitate more interactions between our people. Finally, President Prabowo and I also agreed to strengthen the institutional links between our two countries. In particular, good relations between the SAF and the TNI foster trust between our two countries. And here I again want to thank and particularly highlight President Prabowo's contributions and the important role he played in fostering strong ties between our militaries when he was Defense Minister. Under our Defense Cooperation Agreement, the SAF and the TNI are exploring the co-development of training facilities in Batu Raja, West Kalimantan, and the Siabu Air Weapons Range. These initiatives will provide even more mutually beneficial opportunities for us to train together and deepen our long-standing defense relations. Singapore will also continue to support Indonesia's development priorities through capacity building programs, including in areas like healthcare and agricultural technology. The President and I also had very good discussions on regional and global developments. We agreed on the importance of ASEAN and ASEAN centrality. And next year, as Singapore gets ready to be the chair of ASEAN, we will engage and consult with Indonesia closely to shape the agenda for our chairmanship year. We also discussed developments in the Middle East and how they have implications for Singapore, especially in the Straits of Malacca. As littoral states bordering the Straits of Malacca and Singapore, both Singapore and Indonesia are strategically aligned. We both share interest in upholding navigational rights and freedoms and keeping sea lines of communications open to all, including the unimpeded right of transit passage of vessels in accordance with UNCLOS, which is also customary international law. So both President Prabowo and I agreed that we will do our part together with the other littoral states to ensure that the Straits of Malacca and the Straits of Singapore remain safe, open, and accessible to all. As you can see from our discussions, Singapore and Indonesia are trusted partners with a shared stake in one another's success. Our partnership is deep, it's forward-looking, and full of potential. And together we can create more opportunities than either of us could achieve alone. So once again, Bapak President, I thank you for your friendship, I thank you for your partnership and your support for stronger Indonesia-Singapore relations. As we look forward to celebrating 60 years of diplomatic ties next year, we also want to prepare ourselves to work closely with you and your team to mark this milestone and to take Singapore-Indonesia ties to even greater heights. Once again, thank you. Terima kasih, Bapak President.
The joint press statement has concluded. We extend our sincere appreciation to His Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Singapore, for this working visit to Indonesia. May the friendship and partnership between Indonesia and Singapore continue to grow stronger for the benefit of both nations.